And Hurts with time. Now Shaq downfield. And it is brought in by Jahan Dotson. Taking it down to the 26-yard line.
Keep that young man out of that situation. You toss it to the sideline, there's always a chance that somebody runs you out of bounds.
What can Mahomes do with that gift? Going deep for Thornton. That's a connection. He stays in bounds. The clock is rolling under 30 seconds as everyone in the Kansas City uniform. Other open hand that he threw in the grill of Travis Kelce the last drive did not get kicked out as Mahomes gets out of trouble, flips it to Juju Smith-Schuster.
Wow, dangerous throw, but we've seen him do this so many times and find a way to get it to his guy.
Parallel to the ground and flips it to Smith-Schuster. From the Los Angeles 37, Mahomes with pressure finds a wide open Kelce. Travis Kelce, touchdown! 37 yards for 87. 4th and 7. Mahomes running for his life from Khalil Mack. Throws to wide open Hollywood Brown. Inside the 10. Holy smokes. And they are going to throw it. And it's Herbert to his right with a wide open lane. And he picks it up and slides down in bounds. What a night for Justin Herbert.
Second down at 5. Fake to Robinson. And now it's Robinson who makes the catch out of the backfield. Picks up a Falcons first down and more. Still going inside the 10. Touchdown! Mayfield on first down, throws, end zone, caught, touchdown! Abuka with his second of the game.
A 30-yard punt inside their own 10. The Jags take over. Etienne is loose. That's still going. Travis Etienne. Can he go all the way? No.
3rd and 20. They mark it at the 25. They bring 6. Smith underneath, and they get it. Thornton.
To other time zones this year. Second down off the play fake. Murray looking to throw. Murray looking long to the far side of the field, and it is caught. Marvin Harrison inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, she's the daughter of a former NFL All-Pro guard, Ron Stone. Here's Love, heaving it down the field. And he's got his man, he's got Dobbs.
Talking about great athletes.
A couple plays ago, he's on a knee on the sideline right now. Here they bring it. They go to the end zone.
Wow.
Was that caught?
That's caught.
Hold on, we need to have a second look at that.
I think that's
Tesla, the rookie who pulled it down.
incredible
Crazy.
catch. I think he had barely out.
Look at this.
Let's see. 1 in for sure. 2. His feet were in, but
However I can, because I'm going for the win. He swinged out into the end zone, wasn't open. Purdy keeping it alive. Brock Purdy lofts one. It is Tonjes. Touchdown, San Francisco.
And ball security out of premium.
Speaking of which, here is a good run for R.J. Harvey, and there goes the rookie. In his NFL debut, an impact play all the way down to the 30 of Tennessee.
When we're winning games, we're going to have that.
30 seconds to go here in the first. Fields, great protection. Deep ball on the way. Rainbow is caught. Garrett Wilson. Touchdown, Jets. Rodgers. And that ball knocked around and ends up in the hands of Metcalf.
Finished the season with the AFC champion Chiefs last year. Now part of this Ravens outfit. Henry patient, powerful, and taking off. Another big Derrick Henry run to the 20 and the 13-yard line. 51 on that carry for Henry. He is having an opening night. Lamar laying it up for Hopkins. One hand! The veteran still got it! DeAndre Hopkins touchdown! Off in time. Here comes the blitz. Get rid of it to Cook. If he can get past that, he's got space. And there he goes! Cook! 20, 15, 10. What a run! Cook down at the 1-yard line. Gain of 19, probably ran about 60 on that play. And here goes Henry. Quiet in the second half. Not anymore! Henry, another touchdown! Got it spread out. Only 2 Ravens pursuing, and Allen throws deflected and caught by Coleman on the tip for 6.
Play clock is at 1. They just got it away on 3rd and long. Watch out! Picked off. There's Wright down the sideline. Gets a block. And now a touchdown.
But when they're bringing all out blitz, they're expecting the ball to come out quicker than what it did.
McCarthy. Pass is caught. Spinning grab by Aaron Jones.
3rd and 6. Rattler, pressure coming, floats it down the sideline, one-on-one for Johnson. Makes the adjustment. It's a touchdown. What a catch. Jawan Johnson for 6.
Herringer gets it away. Another good boot, driving Washington back to his 27-yard line. He bobbles it for a second, still going as he spins forward, trying to get to the outside. Washington gets by the punter, down the sideline. Malik Washington to the house. Touchdown, Miami. 74 yards. Patterson to Gibson, who gets a running start on that catch. Gibson across the 30. Antonio Gibson still going. Can he return the favor? Down the sideline. You gotta be kidding me. Back to back. A 90-yard touchdown.
Yeah, they're just not playing for the field goal only.
There's Goff. Oh, he does it again. The rookie Isaac Tesla.
Like watching the way Noah Sewell plays that position.
We're down at 8. Goff going deep. Williams, touchdown.
From the 29, a first down throw. Look at end zone. There's Malik Neighbors. There's a touchdown for New York. 29 yards. Wilson to Neighbors for the Giants' first touchdown of the year. Wilson going end zone. Robinson. Perfect throw. Touchdown New York. On 4th down, 32 yards to Wan'Dale Robinson. From the Dallas 48. Wilson protected. Heaving one. Wants Neighbors. Malik Neighbors. Touchdown Giants. He dropped it in the bucket from 48.
Coach Logan Ryan at Rutgers. They go way back. Browning, big ball. One hand. Are you serious? Mitchell Tinsley.
4th down, a little more than 2. Fannon's off to the right. Flacco out of the gun, looking to throw. Throws to the right. It's up for grabs, and it's caught. It was deflected. It was deflected by Humphrey and caught for a touchdown by Cedric Tillman. 3 straight times on the defensive end. Flacco drops back to pass. Pockets collapsing. He's sacked, and he lost the football. It's picked up by Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith could go the whole way. He is going to go the whole way. Touchdown Ravens.
certainly nothing of concern for him. He took some snaps and went back out there, but expect him to ice it throughout this game.
Thank you, Trace. Look at that move by Cook. Oh, it's still going. James Cook to the end zone for a touchdown and a brilliant run.
Put that on your highlight tape right now, Jim. I know you carry him each game, but that was next level.
The 1st and 20. 5-man pressure this time, but it's picked up. Mahomes loaded up, going deep. Has Thornton again. This time he's got it. Touchdown.
Nakua shifting. They'll give it to him, and he's got it, and then some. Nakua is going to take it all the way. Touchdown, Rams. 45 yards. 49 seconds to play. Second quarter. Ward looking. Looping out of trouble. Trying to set up receivers. He's going to throw against his body to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Spectacular. Io Manor.
Woody Marks, a rookie running back from USC, now in the backfield next to Stroud. On first down, end zone shot. Collins, he's got it. Touchdown, Texans, what a catch. What a throw.
Well, he keeps mentioning the future gold jacket. He talks about Mac almost with awe. Herbert launches downfield. It's Johnson in stride. Touchdown, Chargers. 60 yards. Justin Herbert just flicks it, and after a slow start tonight.
This drive starts at the 21, down by 4. Hand off to Henry, and he gets it punched out. It's recovered by DJ Reed. Knocked out on the play by Aiden Hutchinson. And it's yet another fumble for Derrick Henry.
Trying to get a loss of yardage to make it a much longer field goal for Butker. Mahomes putting it up for grabs again for Thornton. That time he reached around his body to catch it at the 1.
Because they can dictate in terms of pressure and those kinds of things, but he loves calling things on 1st and 2nd down.
There's a 2nd down. Got away from Tillman. And caught! What a grab! Flag thrown! Johnston inside the 5.
Penix with time is intercepted.
That's completely on Penix. 100%.
Shaw Smith-Wade takes it in.
The backs back at 2nd and 10. Mayfield looking for Ibuka.
Oh, what a catch.
catch! He hauls it in. He was matched up with Sauce Gardner. What a catch! Ibuka gains 30.
What an amazing catch. Emeka Ibuka going up against one of the best corners in the league. That is good coverage, and that's a great throw.
Cole's a punt, his 5th punt this game. And Lane is going to go back inside the 10. Here comes a flag dropped right away. And Jalen Lane gets past Cole, the punter. He's going to go all the way for a touchdown. Check that flag way back inside the 10.
They're not able to communicate across the board which guys are blitzing.
Need about 15 yards to get it to field goal range for Nick Folk. Pass picked off! Taylor picked off! It's Jacob. Jamel Dean who takes it all the way back for a Bucs touchdown. Dean returns it 55 yards.
Vita man, love it.
Even some issues in pass protection. He said, listen, I am locked in because I know Daniel Jones knows what's going on.
On 2nd down and 2, they give it to Taylor, and Taylor scampers to his left. Stiff arms his way to his left and gets out of bounds.
Make Titans fans remember Derrick Henry. Watch Taylor. He's known for his speed, but right there, right hand, sit down, Legarius.
2nd down and 4.
To Taylor. Taylor explodes. Makes a man miss to his right. Spin move, a beauty. Inside the 30. High stepping at the 25. Inside the 10. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Jonathan Taylor, 46 yards.
Receiving tight end. He's in there at fullback. Watch Warren with this block. Watch 84. Bam! Right there on Barton. And then the rest was just Jonathan Taylor.
Chris Moore in motion. Straight ahead run. And tough yard still on his feet. Jeremy McNichols. I don't think they're going to get him. And he is in for the Washington touchdown.
Play before you get a first down. Play action pass, sneak in draws and stuff on second down.
It's a 2nd and 9. And Browning scanning, throwing, picked off, intercepted by Isaiah Rodgers, and he's racing down the sideline, and he will not be caught going the distance. First and 10, 2 minutes to go. First half. It's been dominated by Minnesota, but Bengals can make things interesting. Plus, they get the third quarter kick. It's Fant. Lost the football. It's Rodgers again, off and running. Oh, my goodness. He runs it back for a second touchdown today.
Left-footed punter booms one down the field. Good punt. Driving Horton all the way back to his 6-yard line. Horton on the return at the 20, right up the middle to the 30. Now Horton to the outside. Torrey Horton down the sideline. And it's a touchdown. 95 yards.
To hear the Bears, a little flip to Swift, trying to get a flea flicker. It's way up there. Williams recovers, throws a seed, has a man, it is caught for a touchdown. Luther Burden's first in the league.
Drafted Burden for his speed. They drafted Caleb Williams for his arm. And they are looking forward to that connection for years to come.
McLaughlin has been perfect today.
Oh! It's blocked! Field goal attempt is blocked! Scooped up and will be taken all the way for a Jets touchdown. Will McDonald returns it into the end zone. And we are tied at 26. Unbelievable.
Joshua Carty has it blocked again! This time Jordan Davis. The big man looks for the icing on one big cake. Eagles hang on.
To get that to Neighbors for the first down.
13 to Neighbors, 7 before that. Here's a run again by Dart. First and 10. He'll take it in. His first career touchdown. And the Giants on top.
ETN. Nice cut. Big run. ETN with a nice move. And he breaks free for the touchdown. 48-yard strike from Travis Etienne.
Genty springs free. Turns on the Jets. One guy to beat. Bayard can't bring him down. And the rookie on a dead.
Here are the Bucs. They need something on offense. Just 2 field goals, including a 65-yarder today. Now it's Mayfield. Looking. Rolling. Going deep. Has a man. Abuka! He's got it! Touchdown, Tampa! From 77.
But he feels it'll come to him if the game moves on.
It's a quick pass to Shakir, trying to get him out in space. Breaks through the defense and stays on his feet. Shakir, what a play! Touchdown! A 43-yard score, and Shakir putting on the moves to take it to the house.
29, Prescott putting it up for Pickens. Safety coming over. Did Pickens bring that down? Remarkable stuff. He got it. Oh, wow. CD loves it too.
That first foot was down.
But he comes here in his 21st season, first one with the Steelers. And coming off a 6-for-6 drive. He'll throw to begin this drive, and it's DK Metcalf. He's in the loose. There goes DK. A block from Austin. Inside the 5. Into the end zone. 80-yard touchdown. Rodgers to Metcalf.
Maybe one-on-one again.
Crowding the line here. They do bring pressure. Fields launching to the end zone again. Jump ball. Garrett Wilson. Touchdown.
Mig, the young man is absolutely sensational.
You get an opportunity to flip the field and maybe get yourself another scoring drive. So I think this is the right decision.
Sam Martin, the veteran, for the punt, and Marcus Jones. There was no fair catch at the 12, but he squeezes out of it. Marcus Jones down the sideline. Blockers in front. Pass the punter. Marcus Jones, and that's a punt return for a touchdown.
Yard punt sends Parker Washington back. He's got a punt return touchdown in his career, and he's got an alley, and he might have his second. 96 yards last year against the Patriots. He's going to house this one, and the Jaguars get the score in special teams. 87 yards.
Prescott gets away. Parsons chasing him. Puts it up for grabs. Coming back is Tolbert. Did he keep his feet in? Yes, he did. Ruled a catch on the sideline inside the 5. What a play.
They're going to run down and make sure they do it fast, but they don't have to. But that was a fadeaway.
Get pressure, they blocked it. Sidney Brown's got it. He's going to return it for a touchdown.
Fields kind of one explosive run tonight. It was a 19-yard run in the first half. They just need one. He's going to try to get to the edge. The edge is taken away, and now Fields reverses field, and he's got plenty of room. Justin Fields sprinting, makes a cut, another cut, all the way to the end zone.
Holy smoke.
Cheat code stuff right there.
43 yards on a 4th and 1. Desperately needed play.
Jacob Bobenmeyer, the snapper. A.J. Cole, the holder. The kick is blocked. Unbelievable. First blocked field goal for the Chicago Bears.
49 game-winning drives in his career. Trying to start one here, and he's got Atwell all alone. 2-2 Atwell, and it's 2-2 goodbye. One play, 88 yards, and 2-2 takes it for 6.
Oh, you know something happens when you find somebody that wide open down the field. And he crosses back underneath, you tangle your feet up, and all of a sudden, Cameron Bynum has got no shot. He's gotten out leverage because he's playing his risk.
Former high school quarterback takes the snap. He'll throw. End zone touchdown. Brock Wright as Montgomery back home, airing it out like he did at Mount Healthy High School for
the lead. Right down the middle. Baragallis nails it. And the Patriots take the lead with 15 seconds remaining.
First down and 10. Surveying the situation, nobody open, in some trouble. Browning On the move, throwing for the end zone, looking for Chase. He pulls it in, touchdown! Oh, what a catch by Jamar Chase for 6.
By Jamar Chase finishing everything. So, I mean, you can see it's there.
Style of offense that suits you better.
Pass is tipped in the air, and Anthony Richardson caught his own deflection and advances it. It's like a Brett Favre throwback.
So it was not the wrong decision, just a really good design by the Dallas defense.
Prescott loads up. Pickens hand fighting into the end zone. Touchdown!
Up on the move, Charbonnet in the backfield. Darnold, here comes Diaby, and downfield caught. Touchdown! Torrey Horton.
One of these game-changing plays.
Wentz, 2nd and 5. Addison, he's got it! Touchdown!
Tight end in at fullback.
Play action, Rattler to the air, looking deep down the field. Shaheed's got great speed. He's got him. Shaheed down the sideline. 10, 5, touchdown. There's the home run ball for the Saints. 87 yards.
On the run for Murray in this game. Murray goes play action, turns his back to the defense for a moment. Murray launches one towards the end zone. It is caught. Marvin Harrison. And how good must this feel for Marvin Harrison?
Tagovailoa to the end zone. Achan, did he? He did! Touchdown, Miami! Tyreek Hill couldn't have done it any better.
Dart in the shotgun. Scattaboo. And the ball came out. No whistle. Howden going the other way. Howden's going to go the distance, and we'll have to see if this one stands.
Williams. Can he get in? They signal that with the ball coming out. Round pick. Absolutely the player of the game.
Now, right away, my brain goes in. On 2nd down. Picked off. Lloyd again. Devin Lloyd. What a year. Still rolling. Down the sideline. One man to beat. Lloyd. Pick 6.
Clock running inside of 5 minutes. Ward goes through his progressions. Everyone covered, slings it back. It's deflected and picked. Taylor Demerson, and then the football came out. Who recovers? Tennessee for the touchdown.
That you've never seen before if you hang around long enough. We call this an ABA play. A, offense has the football originally. B, recovers or intercepts.
Tonight, it's 1st and goal with 30 seconds left. Now Lawrence goes down, has to get up. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown, Jacksonville. The center, I think, steps on his foot, or the guard. It's the right guard. That's what happened. Steps on his right foot as he's trying to come out, and it looked like he was dead in the rights. And here they all come. He looked like Earl Campbell getting out of there.
But his catches count, all of them for first downs. Fake handoff to Stevenson. May feeling the pressure. Taking a shot. He's got his man. It's Pop Douglas, and he is in. Touchdown.
Stafford to throw. Some pressure in his face. He lost the football and is picked up by the Ravens. And now here comes a run back by big old John Jenkins. John Jenkins, who weighs 370 pounds. The sack, the strip, and the recovery. The trifecta.
Well, it looks like man-to-man coverage. You got Chase up top.
5-man rush. Flacco to the air and caught. Wow! Chase with the touchdown reception.
Leave guys one-on-one, and Nixon's in great position. How it's not a penalty, I don't know.
Hasn't been very active as Darnold sets to throw. And floating one down the middle. And Smith and Jigba Has it. Touchdown Seahawks.
3rd down and 10. Tua taking a deep shot, looking for Waddle. Waddle's down there, and he holds on, going to the ground. A juggling catch by Waddle.
The ball, but on this play, he's looking over his right shoulder and has to spin around and look over the left shoulder.
Bunch formation to the right, empty backfield, 3rd down and 7. Won't take him down, ball comes loose. Raiders recover. Devin White with the initial hit.
Stafford, no one's open. Takes a shot, going deep. Kyler Williams, is he in? Flags fly, he's in.
Pass interference, defense number 32. Penalties decline. The result of the play is a 1st down.
The left butt cheek on the ground. That's a catch.
A 1st and 5. Robinson off the right side, breaks free. Bijan Robinson spinning down the sideline, still going. Can they catch him? They cannot. Touchdown, Falcons, 81 yards.
Fake it to Williams. Prescott loading up. Floats it over the top of the defense. George Pickens with a ball in hand, then a hurl.
He can run. J.C. Horn tries to undercut that ball. Just a fantastic.
That was a lot of stuff.
2nd and 11. Going for a big ball. Down the field. He's got an open target. Oh, what a catch! Touchdown, Tampa Bay! Taz Johnson has his first NFL touchdown and a magnificent flip to go with it.
Interesting formation. Dart. Is he going to take off again? He might have to, but no. He finds an open man and hits him. Robinson stays in bounds. Robinson's going to go all the way for a touchdown.
They just got it away, and it's Swift with a catch. And still going. DeAndre Swift veers into the end zone.
Second and goal, Goff. Scanning, firing to the back. Laporta, what a catch! Touchdown! There was no space, and Laporta brings it in.
Jamari Connor all over him. He's got his one arm hooked, pulls it out, didn't matter. He only needed one.
Pressure coming again. Herbert in trouble. Herbert keeps it alive. Completes it to McConkey, who stops at a dime. There he goes. McConkey inside the 20. How did Herbert do it?
Of course, he's got Sterling Shepard out there, his old college teammate. But he's not going to have a chance. Oh, yes, he is. He fights through the sack. Looking for 1st down yard. Oh, my goodness, he's done it again. Oh, that is pure Baker Mayfield. Absolute Baker at his best. He fought through them all.
This is Baker Mayfield, the original OG from Oklahoma when they started with all those quarterbacks. And when I said something.
That's the story of the Dolphins defense so far today is mistakes.
Judkins unleashed. Judkins touchdown.
With Juergens dealing with an injury. Deep drop for Hurts, trying to find something downfield. And it's Devontae Smith. He's loose. He's got it. He is gone. Touchdown, Eagles. Lightning strike to Devontae Smith.
Now they bring in Sean Tucker in the backfield. He's got a lot of speed, too. 2nd and 8. Tez Johnson, he's got plenty of speed. Gets a block, hops toward the end zone. Spinning touchdown. He's out there as well, but at the end of this play, number 81, Ryan Miller, he makes the key block that allows Tez to cut back inside and score.
3rd and goal for New England. May, end zone, Hooper! Touchdown! Austin Hooper!
He's right here. He's looking at Hooper. He loses track of him in this zone, tries to catch up.
Motion Addison. Blitz coming. Wentz hit as he throws, picked off. Intercepted. There goes Jalen Hunt. House call Philadelphia. His first NFL pick leads to his first touchdown.
Ready.
Dobbins a block to the end zone, deflected, and did Franklin get it on the ricochet? Touchdown, Denver on the deflected ball.
It's a play knocking it away from Sutton right at the goal line. He's going to 14. The ball's batted up in the air. Great job by Franklin extending and staying alive, staying with the play, able to get it.
Both of these two teams, both at 1-5, as Miami begins with possession, down 11 from their 30. That one is picked. Campbell, and he will waltz in for the pick six on the first play of the second half.
Play clock at 1. They get it off. Blitz is coming. Mariota in trouble. Being ripped away. Stays alive. Throws it in the front. And picked off. Guess who? Deron Bland. One man to beat. Pick six.
Rodgers avoids the sack. Deep downfield, caught at the 35-yard line, and going all the way to the end zone is Freiermuth. Pat Freiermuth, 68 yards.
Scattered with the back, 3rd and 17. And he'll cut a pass, caught on the ricochet. It's grabbed here by the galloping Johnson. He'll be chased on the play by Barron. Did he get in? He did. Touchdown!
Well, just like we saw a second ago when Franklin got the ricochet off of the Sutton at the goal line, and he was able to finish the play.
Glad I'm not a DB.
Right up the gut, there goes Gibbs. Foot race. Winfield can't get there. Touchdown, Lions.
Taylor, time going long. He's got him for the end zone and knocked away. Is that intercepted? J.C. Horn. Yes, Horn pulls it in and stays in.
J.C. Horn, this is just about staying on the go. Look at how bad he's beaten, but he just keeps fighting, gets that one hand up there.
Running back will be Bidet. Nix will take it himself on 1st and 10. Blocked by Bowles. Touchdown, Denver! The Broncos have their first lead today. It's a 1st and 5. Nix and caught by Sutton. Got it on the side. Newman was there. Sutton quickly assembles with his team at the line. Clock is ticking. For Boney the snap. Crawshaw, the rookie, will hold it. Will Lutz, 39-yard field goal for the win. He got it. Denver has won.
Sure, but I'm like, wow, you're already assessing, our crew here. Yeah, they got me that time. Is that Myles Garrett, or that is five?
Back in here, bam, back in. Then he just turns it into power. Drake.
Spears picks up the first down and a lot more for Tajay Spears. Still going down the sideline. Spears stiff arm and finally shoved out of bounds.
He's throwing for the end zone, and back there the catch is made. Kayshon Boutte has 6.
They go with Harvey on the toss, and there goes Harvey. Harvey's got a first down. Harvey's looking for the end zone. Harvey takes it home.
Can you generate explosive runs, chunk runs, score from 30, 40 yards out? That's a different animal.
Here's Cook. Good patient run, and he busts it through. Right on kill. Off to the races. James Cook. House call, touchdown, somersault, he's in.
The Super Bowl to Dallas. Here's a 2nd and 10. As the ball's headed to the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Tolbert.
He's got one foot in, and then the heel comes down on the left foot first.
The right shoulder that they're looking at as they took a closer look at him, and that just adds to the intrigue here down the stretch. Hall Boy, thought about it, now tosses to the end zone, and he's got Taylor for the Jets touchdown.
There we go.
Gabriel going deep between two Patriots, and it's intercepted.
Hitting it, seeing it, tracking it, and going up and getting it.
Eagles go jumbo on 2nd and 10. Here is Barkley, left side, big hole. Saquon Barkley! Uh-oh! Barkley! Goodbye! I guess the run game's back.
Hoping that at some point maybe he could be deployed. Blitz coming, so Allen got rid of it to Shakir, and this is where Buffalo hurts you. In space, Shakir, cut back, touchdown, he's gone. Rules change inside of 2 minutes, no coaches' challenges either. Oh, three-man rush, that is picked off. A.J. Epinesa just grabbed it from Dalton and took it down to the 1.
Here's Hurts, blitz coming. Hurts sees it, loading up, going for a deep ball. It is caught! Jahan Dotson! Oh, touchdown Eagles!
And who wants it more? Who's going to go high point that thing? It's Dotson.
What I like is now the Saints offense relying on their guys, right? Alvin Kamara, get him the ball more.
2nd down and 1.
Oh, wow!
It's picked off and taken into the end zone for a touchdown by Anthony Nelson.
But there's a flag.
There is a flag out at the 12-yard line. How about this athleticism? Nelson says, look what I found. 2nd turnover committed by the Saints. He pulled.
Punt, and it's Colts ball at the 20. Here's Jonathan Taylor on 1st down. Big hole. JT in the open field. Down the sideline. Staying in bounds. Still going. Taylor. The distance.
Kevin Winston's on the spot. Bortolini springs Tyler Warren.
Jones looking deep down the field, and it is caught by Pittman with a flag down, but what a grab by Pittman.
With one arm, his left one, and then go up there and just pin the ball between his biceps.
You want to try and get, if you're going to keep it in bounds, you need to get a chunky yardage so you can spike it.
1st and 10, here they come. Burns the hit, fluttering ball intercepted. Picked off Carter, the rookie from Penn State, at the 25 of San Francisco.
Really has so much confidence going in his game right now.
Play action here on 1st down, 13 of 13, and to the races. It's White, all the way, Cody White for the touchdown. The first of his NFL career.
Yeah, 6'6", great size, great arm strength, and it's intercepted. This could be a pick 6 for Cody Barton. It is. 20-yard interception return for a touchdown. It was intended for Keenan Allen, and the Titans have taken the lead. And the Chargers will punt the ball away. Well, this is a good kick from J.K. Scott. DK backpedals inside the 35. He's got a few blockers. He slips one tackle, and he's into the open field. He points toward the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Titans.
A blocked field goal would set up their last field goal. Lions need this. Goff throwing for Jameson Williams. He's got it! Diving to the end zone. Is he in? Touchdown. No, they're going to say he's down at the 2. Wow. What balance from Jameson Williams. Nope, he's in. He's in all day. That is a touchdown. Quick throw. McCarthy going end zone. Jefferson! One-hander! Touchdown, Minnesota!
Actually, a run play that's called. They decide to throw this little fade, and who needs 2 hands? Not Justin Jefferson. Puts it right on the outside.
Playing their regular defense, but trying to disguise their looks. Only about 5 yards away from McPherson's field goal range. Flacco puts a nail under it, far side. Higgins, just crazy catch. for the Cincinnati touchdown. Spiro, this is just nasty. That's just nasty work out there by T. Higgins.
4th down, Goff to throw, zips right up the middle. Laporta's got it inside the 10. Laporta still on his feet and dragging Vikings all in the end zone. He is in. Touchdown.
Nakua in motion from the 49. Stafford fires downfield. It is caught. Touchdown. Puka Nakua.
Who gets behind Kool-Aid McKinstry. Notice how late Puka put his arms out. There was no way for Kool-Aid to make a play on that football. He just didn't know when it was going to land.
Penix on 4th down, looking for London. And did he bring it in? Yes! What a catch! Drake London with the hat trick. Video board to see if he actually brought this one in. 1 foot 2. Wow.
Wow. Sensational. But how about Penix? He just turned that one loose with full confidence and with enough air that a DB can't make a play on it.
A run pass option, get him on the edge, but he has to have a chance to make this play. They go end around. Moore's going to toss it and into the end zone to a wide open Williams. A 4-game winning streak ended last week in Baltimore. How do these two teams pick up the pieces? Charlie Jones going to play it from just inside his end zone, and Jones has his seam. Jones, 30, 20, 10, touchdown! No flags. 99 yards to get the party started.
Smith throws for the end zone. A one-handed grab. Brock Bowers, they're saying no, out of bounds. Boy, just to catch that ball was amazing, and then to keep his body in.
The one-on-one, and not to push off. You see, he didn't extend there. He just pulled away.
68 yards away. It's up there. It's out there. And it's good. It's good from 68.
More than 2 plays and get your field goal unit on the field if this ball is completed or the clock is running. Williams slings it. Williams. Loveland bangs off his man. He's going to score. Home. Colston Loveland in a jaw dropper. 58 yards on the catch and run from the rookie. Both safeties deep. Battle, knowing what the situation is. Battle is super deep. And then he just doesn't wrap up.
Defensive lineman in as a fullback.
They have not used that for play action yet. Each time he's in, they've ran it every time, and they do it again.
They toss it.
I didn't love it.
Henderson got away.
Love it.
He's got a chance to show off that speed. Henderson breaks a second one for a touchdown.
Oh my gosh. He looked over at the coaching staff to say, should I go in to score or should I not? Should I go down? I've never seen.
So 3 possessions, a couple of 3-and-outs. Sandwiching that 95-yard touchdown drive. Bojorquez's punt. There's a flag thrown here. Isaiah Williams has his seam. Williams inside Cleveland territory, and he's going to score.
85 yards and only 3 first downs. Jalen Warren trying to get it started. Oh, what a leap by Warren to the 23-yard line. Oh, baby, what a play. Woo.
Watch this. He doesn't even get, maybe he caught a little bit of the hurdle on the back end of it.
Against the Cowboys, so he's had some decent moments this year.
Play action. Singletary out of the backfield, got hit, stayed alive and got a first down. He's still going. Singletary inside the 35.
Right back to Taylor with Warren blocking. Touchdown, Taylor! An appropriate finish in Berlin, Germany. It's Taylor's game, and the Colts win in overtime. overtime.
On a windy day here. Second down, a fake, a boot. Williams running. Caleb Williams into the end zone. Did he stay in bounds?
3rd and 6. He has a moment for Olave. Oh, what a one-handed grab, but turning. Let's see. There's a flag.
I mean, this is, you want to talk about straight courage and understanding. Hey, you didn't stack on that little rail route.
The effectiveness of the run is less impactful than marrying the two together.
Down the sideline, Dart's throw is caught by Slayton. One-handed catch from Darius Slayton. How in the world did he do that?
Really tell if he caught it. He's fighting Stevenson and just sticks out that left hand. That is as good of a catch. I can tell you that ball is hard as a rock. It's slick.
If they get one-on-ones, looks like Will might have one up top. Lawrence, he will fire back in the end zone. It's handled. Parker Washington, fantastic grab for the touchdown. Slap that second foot down. It looks like he might have. Incredible job going up for the ball. 1 foot. 2. Wow. What a job tapping that right foot. This will be a great angle at it.
Ironically, he played for Penn State, not Indiana.
And knock the ball free. Keep them protected.
Achane sneaks through. Achane, second level, turns on the Jets. Achane, touchdown! 59 yards. And the Bills look gassed in Miami.
Knight remains the back. Jacoby Brissett. Oh, there was the blitz. He was hit. The ball is free. Picked up by Lawrence. Will he take it in? Yes, sir. To the house. Touchdown. With a wrist injury, new middle linebacker today as well. With Ernest Jones out. 3rd down, 11. Here comes Knight. Knocked away again. Loose. Here comes Lawrence. Holy smokes. Another touchdown.
It's a 95-yard drive, aided by a couple of defensive penalties against the Jets. And that's where we sit. Schmidt's kick. And it's just short of the end zone. Plus the 40, 50. One man to beat, and he's going to score. 99 yards. And the Jets with the answer they were looking for.
So it's Tommy Townsend punting from his own end zone. Parker Washington backpedals. Townsend got all of it from the 28-yard line. Oh, what a move by Washington! Parker Washington! He's going the distance! Touchdown!
They got 2nd and short. That means it's Taylor time, and he's got the 1st down, and he busts away from the pack for plenty more. Jonathan Taylor, big run. There he goes, and Indianapolis takes the lead. 83 yards, the longest run of his career.
Going down, he's going nowhere. And once again, the patience. Just get up there, hug the offensive line, keep the legs moving, and then you see the breakout, the explosive speed. A little bit of a stiff arm there on A.J. Terrell, and he's taking it the distance. And
see everybody protecting the perimeter out here.
Lawrence. He's sacked, and it's over. Will Anderson Jr. gets there. The ball pops in the air, and Rankins takes it the distance. What a way to end it. The Texans come from behind, and their defense puts the final cherry on top of the sundae.
wow. Wow, wow, wow. Almost could not be denied. 35 yards, Will Lutz. He's already made 4 today. Lutz in the clutch.
and the Broncos have won it.
Seahawks looking like they're coming after this punt from Ethan Evans. They drop off. Shaheed watches it bounce inside the 5 and out of bounds inside the 1.
Oh my gosh.
That's a hole in one.
It looked like you at a 56 degree from about 110.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh my God. Remember if it hits the pylon.
3rd down and 5. Quick hitter. Ty Johnson creates after the catch. Big gain down the sideline. Ty Johnson takes it all the way. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Santos puts it up, and it is good! The comeback kid, Chicago Bears, do it again!
Back to the Packers defense. They're playing intermediate right now. Here's Winston. Loading up, gotta hurry, hit from behind. Ball is out. And this game is over. And Micah Parsons finally gets home.
So now Dortch back in motion at wide receiver. Brissett off the play fake. Under pressure on the roll, throwing on the run, and it's intercepted by Diamador Lenore. Lenore weaving back towards the middle of the field, now to the sideline. Lenore to the 40, still on his feet. Lenore, they weren't sure he'd play today. And Diamador Lenore's got an interception and down inside the Arizona 15.
27-12 with 3.5 to go. He'll go outside, and it's caught here by Fant, and quickly on him. Echols the ball, jarred free, picked up Pierre. He'll take it in. It is a touchdown. A second turnover touchdown by the defense.
Again, one more time, the ball starts coming loose right before the knee makes contact. Pierre's there waiting to scoop and score.
Sky Moore and Brian Robinson are back deep as Arizona won the toss, elected to defer. It'll be Moore from the 2-yard line, and we're underway in Glendale. Sky Moore with an opening, and Moore on the run. One man to beat, and it's the kicker, Ryland. He'll blow by him. Moore on the move to the goal line, lunging and down at the 2. San Francisco bringing just 4. Brissett hit as he throws, looking for Wilson on the sideline. What an adjustment, and what a catch by Michael Wilson.
You need your guys to step up and make plays. We've talked about how big this possession was. Jacoby Brissett going for the big play.
Number 21, defense. Penalties declined.
Disciplinary issue that he reportedly missed a meeting on Friday, and the decision was made to not have him activated today. Allen on 3rd and 3.
Only a 3-man rush from the Bucks.
Allen buys time. He's going to toss it downfield. Open man. Caught by Shavers. Touchdown, Bills. That's old-fashioned Josh.
Time to throw in his career this season, but you don't care when the play ends like this. He makes things happen. The Bucks only rush 3. Plenty of time. Delivers a strike down the field.
What don't you see? A loss of 9. Mitchell dropped it, picked off. Devin Bush on the return. Bush still going. Touchdown.
Example of that. A sack on the first one. Right there, throws a little high. Keaton Mitchell should have caught that. Bounces off of his hands, and you see right there, Bush does the rest.
Love and a high snap. Floats it. Watson up top. It is caught. Touchdown Packers. Green Bay's got the lead.
Snap. Jordan Love is able to handle that. He's throwing to the field. He likes his matchup with Christian Watson, but especially throwing into that corner. I mean, that's
deflected passes as any in the NFL. 3rd and 9. Sample the block. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Duggar. He's got room to roam. There's a block on the play by Herbig. You can't kiss him goodbye.
You draft a young offensive lineman like Zabel, because he's about as good as a young lineman we've seen in years.
Here's the fade, looking downfield for Smith and Jigba, who plucked it with one hand. JSN.
There's the first deep ball connection of the game against Darius Williams outside. And tell you what, they're the best deep ball connection in.
That is Andrews under center on 4th and 1. Andrews spinning away, and there he goes. Andrews all the way. Touchdown. What a call by the Ravens.
Charles, Todd Monken is in his bag, is what the young kids would say. And John Harbaugh said to us, you always have to reinvent yourself. So we talked about their struggles on short yardage. A week ago, Mark Andrews gets under center.
Raiders are not showing pressure.
And they go to Simpson out of the backfield. He's got 2 tight ends blocking on the outside. He's got room. He bursts inside Raiders territory. One man to beat. He won't be caught. Touchdown, Simpson. 66 yards. One rookie to another.
And he's got the accuracy, and he got it! New career-long 4-point game at the half. Evan McPherson.
I mean, he's on this Seahawks team. Not a lot of stats this year, but really a great asset that they've brought in.
Darnold with time going up top for Jackson Smith, and Jigba drops it in the bucket, and he will backpedal for a touchdown. What a throw. What a catch.
What you want. You're done. You're in trouble right there. He's on top of you, and a really good throw.
Prescott thinking about running. Is he going to get there? Gets a block. Prescott flies in. Touchdown.
Probably 17-9. It's 13-9. Bills get the ball at the end of the half, and they get the ball to start the third quarter. Ray Davis to run the kickback. Spinning, still on his feet. Out past the 40. He's out in front. Nobody's going to chase him down all the way for a touchdown.
It's a great job on the return, but it's the reaction by the Texas cover team when he runs into the back of one of his own guys right there. You got a couple Houston Texans. I mean, it happens fast, but there are a couple guys there. And once he bounced off his guy, he spun instinctively.
Robinson's back in. Here comes an extra body. Robinson picks up the pressure, and that ball is out of the hands of Kyle Pitts. And it's the veteran Justin Reed with the move and the touchdown. His first in 7 years, and the Saints are right back in it.
Kurt tries to throw it second window. Maybe Kyle Pitts gets distracted a little bit, but nonetheless, when you get DBs in, 2 guys in the A-gap.
They're down at 8. Here comes the pressure. Running away from it is Sanders. He's looking long. He's got a man. Caught at the 10-yard line. Bonds. He's down to the 1-yard line. It'll be first and goal for the Browns. He beat Darnay Holmes for 53 yards.
There, watch the blitz. The blitz gets home, so Shador has to buy time. Tyree Wilson comes free, rolls to his right, throwing on the move. That is a dot to his fellow rookie, Isaiah Bond. What a bomb from Shador Sanders.
15 games since the Browns.
Tight end as a fullback in the backfield.
3rd down and 2 on the toss. Singletary back to Winston. And now Winston fires downfield into the end zone. Touchdown, Wan'Dale Robinson.
Keep getting after him as if it was 0-0.
Right, the blown leads have been well documented. There's Gibbs. Belton couldn't bring him down. Holland chasing after him. And Jahmyr Gibbs is into the end zone for a Lions touchdown, 49 yards.
From Jahmyr Gibbs. You see how they get to the second level. Now it's on him. Break 1 tackle, Dane Belton. Second tackle, Cordell Flott. Javon Holland can't get there, and he's off to the races for another touchdown.
Mayfield fires. Did he hang on? Durant took it away. Durant's on the run. Down the
sideline. Kobe Durant looking to cut inside. Touchdown. Offense, and the Rams defense is heard from as Durant with the takeaway takes it to the house.
Here's Williams in the pocket. Williams trying to get out of the pocket. He won't. Loses the ball, and the Steelers jump on top of it. It's a touchdown, and it's T.J. Watt.
They got 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. They end up rushing 5. Lawrence lit up. Football is loose, and the Cardinals with Walter Nolan in for the touchdown.
Force errant throws. You got to do when you play this much zone defense.
Eagles need to get to the 40. Hurts loading up, going deep. Devontae Smith comes back and gets it. Oh, Devontae Smith on a beautiful throw.
Sometimes you run routes at the sticks, and sometimes you just stutter and run right by the defender who's kind of thinking they're going to try to pick up the first down. Instead, he blows right by Carson.
And I don't see him on the sideline, so I'm going to keep watching that.
Here's Gibbs on first down. Jahmyr Gibbs across midfield. One man to beat. Inside the 20, the 10. Touchdown on the first play from scrimmage. In overtime. Remember, the Giants will have an opportunity. Gibbs takes it 69 yards.
This defense, you just watch how they're hooking the defensive line. They stunt one way, they get out there, get out leverage. Nobody touches Jahmyr Gibbs. That is inexcusable Giants defense. Nobody touches the best running back in the...
Now we hear him. Another trick play as Olszewski throws. It's caught. Olszewski with the pass into the end zone for a Giants touchdown. Jameis Winston.
This is Olszewski. He's going to get the ball on a reverse. I thought it was going to be a reverse pass to the front side. Instead, he's waiting for Jameis Winston, who then gets open, going against Derek Barnes, somehow breaks the tackle, dances in.
2 for 2 today is Carolina. On this crucial 4th down, Young, McMillan, got it! Touchdown, Panthers lead!
Facility will tell you that. We'll drop that time, though. 2nd and 10. Gainwell, what a catch that was. Off the shoestrings, and away he goes.
That was incredible. This ball's going to be low. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was next level. Nobody's helping over the top over here.
3rd and 8. Here comes the blitz. Yeah, you saw it, Tony. There's Pickens, who pirouettes around the defender and takes off past Edwards. Oh, my gosh. What a leap.
Beforehand.
Watch
but
this.
Look at this.
3rd and 9. Burrow out to his right to the end zone. One hand brought in. Get away. John Harbaugh was yelling about that.
For the end zone. Did he hang on? Devon Vele.
Vele extension. 1, 2.
He holds on.
Otten in motion. Look for Otten, not there. Goes the other direction, and it's Tristan Wirfs.
Tyler Shuck throws. It's intercepted. He can get points on the return. And on the run, Minka Fitzpatrick. He's going to go all the way and seal it for Miami.
Just the 9th offensive play of the game for Las Vegas. Smith in his own end zone, taking a shot down the sideline, and it is incomplete. Coming over was Tony Jeff. All turnovers subject to review. I think he's got it.
He rolls, he's pressured, he's in trouble, heaves it up, oh no! Ernest Jones, house call! He will take it all the way! A game-changing play from Ernest Jones. 84 yards and no flags.
tough to just accept defeat on fourth down. Just a young quarterback that's just not used to these situations. And
second and goal, blitz coming. Gino gets rid of it. Incomplete. Oh, wait a minute. Bowers caught it.
They're just watching. The ball never touches.
Four-man rush. Stafford gets brought down. That ball came out. Derek Brown the hit, and DJ won him the ball.
Two big targets to the left. Nick's looking that way, not open, trying to take off. Got it away for the touchdown.
Guys, pull up. No, he doesn't want to do that. He's going to throw and keep that knee off the ground, and touchdown for the Denver Broncos.
Washington for the win. Mariota has it rejected by Bonino, and Denver has won 9 in a row.
Stafford floats it. Nakua's the target. Oh! Puka Nacua!
But you can't teach that.
Unreal.
Mariota to the back. Oh, he caught it! Burks! Unbelievable touchdown!
Over the edge of the ball to stop that thing. Hold off the defense. Stop it! That's insane.
Yeah, look at the wheels. Lawrence going to take a shot downfield, and it's hauled in! What a grab by Thomas! Stride for stride, Ward was there. A brilliant catch, 39 yards.
Wow! Watch this. You can't blame the coverage. That's fantastic.
20 out of 25 today, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He's pressured, he's got a ton of room. There goes Josh Allen through the snow, into the end zone. Touchdown Bills, 40 yards.
Ali is the running back. Rasheen Ali saw a lot of action against Cincinnati as they were playing catch-up. Lamar going deep. He's got Flowers open, and he makes the catch. Inbounds, they say. What a play by Zay Flowers. Stands a 31-yard catch by Zay Flowers.
From the 35, extra lineman in, and there goes Tony Pollard. And Pollard up across the 45 and across midfield. What a block downfield. Pollard still going. Unbelievable run. He's going to take it to the house for a touchdown, Titans.
They will throw. Allen dances and runs, and Josh Allen looking for the knockout blow. High steps his way to it. Josh Allen put him on his back today.
And Williams averaging 19 yards per reception, which is gigantic. 2nd and 10. Montgomery breaking tackles. Inside the 10, he goes to the end zone for the touchdown. 35 yards.
Don't give him a chance to breathe. Go right back at it again.
Play fake. Williams looking, throwing. It is caught. Touchdown. Oh, Zacchaeus.
He's been so dangerous all day. Drops it down barely through the arms.
You know, it's their opportunity to come out here in the second half and start to eliminate the reasons why there's concern over this offense. But we're seeing a lot of the same things we've seen the last few weeks.
And here's Rashid Shaheed, big special teams play. Breaking free, and Shaheed all the way to the house, no flags. Both games are on ABC, ESPN, and the ESPN app. Barkley, first down, goodbye. Eagles on top, no flags. And again, a four-man rush. It's batted into the air, and Andrew Van Ginkel gets the pick. Chased by McLaurin, and down inside the 30-yard line.
A.J. Cole punting to Mims. It's a short punt. Mims a running start at the 48, and able to break free. Marvin Mims calling out blockers inside the 20.
Touchdown! How about it? Somehow Mims was able to...
And Shuck's got a 1st and 10 at the 13. Again, the new right tackle is Sherman. Shuck. Oh, here they come up the middle. He got away from one. He got away from Vea. Here he goes.
No way.
Touchdown!
You need more than just a 3rd down conversion, though, quickly. Down 2 scores. Into the blitz. Wants T. Higgins. He's got him. Higgins fights through contact for the touchdown.
Tredavious right. He's kind of waiting at the sticks, thinking it's going to come out fast.
From the 33. Oh, my goodness! Look out here! Christian Benford gift wrapped the other way! Touchdown! What just happened? 67 yards!
So again, everyone here is just running. He just kind of shot puts it. And then he just can't secure the tackle. And that's about as easy as a pick 6 Christian Benford's going to have.
Executed. Hurts keeps, throws, batted up and picked off. Intercepted. And the Chargers win the ball game. Here's that final play.
Well, watch Cam Hart. It's the zone coverage, so he's got eyes on Hurts. He sees the throw. He falls back underneath it, gets his hands on it.
Motion man is Diggs, the former Bill. May up top, extending out. Wow. And tremendous grab. What a catch by Booty.
Now, the very popular LaQuint Allen, 7th rounder, is in the backfield for the Jags. He's an excellent blocker out of Syracuse. Lawrence is in trouble, trying to get away. Flags come flying. Lawrence can run for a little bit. Lawrence can run for a score. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
So if they don't have success, the Jags don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, because they got a guy that has a big leg. Cook, his pass is nearly intercepted. Was it? Yes, it was. Picked off on the near sideline by Brown. To the grounds. If he did, this is a heck of a catch. I think he's got his hand under it.
Wow.
That's an amazing catch.
They need to get to the 42. From the gun. Deep drop. Allen hooks a pass. And it's a battle with a flag down. Shakir and Marcus Jones. Jones comes away with it.
Shakir comes back for the ball and kind of works through Jones.
Want to get Terry McLaurin involved some more in this offense.
1st down and 20.
Got him.
There's McLaurin. Inside the 10. Stays on his feet. Into the end zone for a Commanders touchdown. 51 yards. Mariota to McLaurin.
Anybody who wants to say weak schedule, anybody who wants to say anything about them, these are the types of drives that they can show everyone.
Henderson bounces away, and Henderson is off to the races.
Look at May.
Does he have another one in him?
May sprung him.
He does. Touchdown. Goodbye. Travion Henderson.
Drake May leading the way.
Burrow is not shy to throw it to anybody who is in one-on-one situation. Burrow again kind of stumbles, and he's intercepted. Picked off by Van Noy. Then the handoff, it's Gilman. And Gilman is going to score as the Ravens look for the knockout punch. 95 yards.
To be able to throw the deep shots, the bombs to Brian Thomas Jr. is huge.
Well, they're going to throw it again. Etienne. Etienne inside the 40. High stepping inside the 35. Makes a man miss at the 33. Along the sidelines. Into the end zone. Stevens missed a tackle, but he wasn't alone. It's a 45-yard touchdown pass from Lawrence to Etienne.
From the 22 on 1st down. Williams on the roll, directing traffic to the end zone. He throws, and it's DJ Moore, his 2nd of the day. Chicago
Chicago cashes in immediately from 22.
On Monday, when Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams go over this play, because this is such a no, I can't believe you, yes.
3rd and 9, big play. Sanders with time to the sideline. Tough throw for Judy, and Judy has it intercepted. It's picked off by Jalen Johnson.
This is a great play by Jalen Johnson. This is another well-fitted ball in there. A little bit of back shoulder.
Yeah, Brian Branch out for the season. Kirby Joseph, their all-pro safety, hasn't played in weeks.
Intercepted! Oh, Aiden Hutchinson, a clear path. Can he win the race? Hutchinson inside the 20, he's tackled there. What a play from Aiden Hutchinson.
3rd down and 4. Rivers, and he's got a man, touchdown! That's Josh Downs, and that's Phillip Rivers with a touchdown pass. The 422nd touchdown pass of his career. And the Colts go up 12-3.
And Charles, we can't talk enough about
Taysom Hill in the game in the slot at the top of your screen. Shuck looking that direction, and he threw it behind Johnson, who caught it to himself. That is a ridiculous catch.
And to have the focus, one hand, tip it to yourself, contact, balance. My man is a star on TikTok. He's also a star.
Simmons is in. He's got a touchdown in his career. He was out there. Cam Ward on the scramble. Throw back Simmons. His 2nd career touchdown. Oh, man, as a fullback, he was lined up. He had one in 23 in Jacksonville, and he gets one on the out.
Crowd roaring, pressure put on, pass is thrown, and it's contested and caught. And that is nothing new, but just trying to stretch the lead, and that is going to be hauled in by who else? Puka Nacua.
Looking out there, Puka, nope. And it's just amazing. 21 just because they won the Super Bowl, but that regular season wasn't fantastic. They caught fire at the right time.
Absolutely.
At the end of the year.
Yep. Had a hold off Tampa Bay and Brady, then beat San Francisco coming from behind in the championship game. Meanwhile, that punt is caught, and down the line goes Rashid Shaheed for the score. Phenomenal, doing it all year long. Play fake. Stafford fires. Nacua again. Nacua will take it to the end zone. Puka Nacua, 41 yards.
1st down and 10. He'll look to throw it on 1st down. He's looking long. He wants McLaurin. He's got him. Terry McLaurin. The Eagles, after going 0 for their first 4 on 3rd down, have converted their last 4. Barkley again cuts it back. Stays on his feet. Saquon Barkley's in. A hard-fought touchdown.
This defense, he is a challenge to get on the ground. So you better get him early, because if you don't, he's going to make a lot of people miss tackles. And this time it goes for 6.
On the fake, Williams looking downfield, launching downfield, going for it all. It is caught. Bears win it. DJ Moore.
Cook, single setback, 2nd and 4, Buffalo. Handoff. Cook gets around 3 defenders and then kicks it to another gear. Cook still going, looking for the angle. Touchdown. Wow, tremendous run.
Got an interim GM with Champ Kelly, with Stephen Ross, big decisions to make as the owner. This is Achane weaving his way. Achane, the speedster, takes it to the house.
A lot of love lost there, losing to those Super Bowls.
Bam! 4 Burns knocks the ball free, and the Giants are going to score on defense. Tyler Newman.
5 guys on the line, right?
Down line, yep.
There it is. Herbert off the play fake, stepping up, climbing the pocket, taking a shot. Johnston. He held on. He is inbounds for the catch.
right in position today.
Pollard back there now. 2nd down, 8. They bring everybody. Here comes Tranquil. Here comes Hicks. And he's belted as he throws and caught DK.
But I would agree with Chase Brown. I think it's a whole lot to do with nothing, and we're going to see a great version of Joe Burrow next season.
Burrow fires down the field. Boy, they had to come back for it. It was Chase.
When you've allowed him to escape.
Extra body coming for the Dallas pressure. Nearly got to Herbert. They could not contain him. And there he goes sprinting, getting a block, and down inside the Dallas 35.
1,700 tackles in his career, Lavonte David. And he'll have a few more before it's over. Young, he is trying to scramble out of it, and he cuts back. Flows, touchdown! Panthers, Jatavian Sanders.
Vikings have won the last 5 in the regular season against the Giants. Brosberg on 3rd down. Jefferson diving catch along the sideline. Minnesota 1st down at a gain of 22.
What a catch. Now let's see if he actually maintained possession. He's dragging that left foot for sure. That's a completion.
Takes out the opportunity to spread out the field.
3rd down, Brissett. He loads up to launch. Down the sideline, into coverage, and incomplete.
The question is, did the ball hit the ground before it bounces onto Michael Wilson's chest? I think this is a catch.
I think
that's a touchdown.
It looked like it rang around.
A 1st and 10 near the 20. Lions go to the end zone and caught. What a catch! Tesla.
Oh, you got one-on-one outside linebacker on Gainwell.
Rodgers off his back foot, throws it down the way, and the flag's coming out on Anzalone. And look at Gainwell. Gainwell. And he showed it right here. It was from Mike Tomlin, who told us that, meeting with him on Friday. Just look at this. He's going to get the flag anyway, and just got to his feet. Presence of mind. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
And these guys are calling it in real speed, and they are right the majority of the time.
Handoff Harvey, and now a big run up the middle, breaking tackles, and R.J. Harvey on the move, down the sideline, Harvey diving for the pylon, touchdown Broncos.
Done a great job with helping him convert and make him a playmaker from the nickel spot.
3rd and 6. Genty down the field. He's open. He's got it at the 30. Genty, stiff arm, stays on his feet. Touchdown!
On 1st down off the play fake. Nix sets up, and he's looking deep. Wants Franklin. Drops it in. Franklin with a catch. 1st and goal, Denver.
And now you're getting the best pass rush that you've had all game long.
Genty again. Trying to break it to the outside. He does. Ashton Genty still going. What a run. Genty, his 2nd touchdown today.
Stevenson gets a break to Ernest Johnson, 7th-year veteran, former Raven, in the lineup. May taking a deep shot. Downfield towards Williams. He brought it in. That's a touchdown. That is Kyle Williams.
Quick throw. Picked off the other way, D. Winters. And he is gone. This is a pick 6. And this game's going to belong to San Francisco.
And a great job by Terry McLaurin. I know we'll talk about it throughout the game, but that dude right there has been balling despite having a ton of different quarterbacks. And here is Debo.
Debo Samuel off to the races. Samuel getting physical.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Major highlight for the Commanders as Donovan Wilson didn't know what hit him. This is where Washington turns to Von Miller. 3rd down, looking for pressure. Dallas goes empty. Prescott, step, throw, flag down, and caught in stride.
Right
Turpin, the speed. He's gone. Touchdown, Cowboys. Where do your eyes take you? What do you study when these games happen in front of you? Oh, you're studying that?
I think when I'm looking at the
Krosky Merritt.
That's a great sight to see. Krosky Merritt. Let's
go. Q for the low touchdown.
Shedeur Sanders, 50 starts in college. Tyler Shuck down in New Orleans, 42 starts in college. That certainly benefits guys.
Get tricky here. Jordan Addison turns on the speed. Look out, Addison. Can he get there?
Been a long day already.
Tell me about it. 3rd down and 12. chased all the way back, running for his life, throws, and it is broken up, and it is Christian Fulton.
It happens so fast. Bolton's quick reaction, the right hand, great job of that, but this ball is in play, and 32 Red, quick reaction, ends up catching the ball. Watch this. Bolton, known for his ability against the run, great instincts, gets his hands under it, and makes the interception.
The rookie Matthew Golden, the motion man. It's a play-action pass on first down. Willis stayed in there initially. Now he's going to look to escape. Delivers another open man. It's Watson in stride. Ravens bring 5. Willis steps up. Willis gets in front of the line of scrimmage. Stays on his feet. Wow. First and goal. Incredible effort from the quarterback, Malik Willis.
Tinsley in motion. The other side it goes to Chase. Steps through a tackle at the 10. Spins at the 5. Chase diving for the goal line. Touchdown Cincinnati.
Trying to add to a field goal on their first series. Here's a 2nd and 8. This pass to Fannin. He caught it and he rolls in untouched.
2nd and 10. Blitz again. Picked up. Rivers floating. Jarred out of there and then caught. Wow, Will Mallory.
Yeah, when the ball came out of Rivers' hands, I'm not sure it was going to get there in time. Eric Murray came and put a big hit on him, but just great concentration.
He picks up Brady Cook this week, and Drake May right back to work. Under some pressure, launches for Diggs! Looking for the Moss, he got it! 6-yard run.
All right, Moss, making him proud. Boy, what a play.
They line up quickly. Spears is the running back. Play action. Ward. He's got a wide open Okonkwo. Chigo Okonkwo inside the 20. Stays on his feet. Okonkwo. Wow! Touchdown! What a play!
Andrew getting jiggy with it. I absolutely love that. He comes from that right side of your screen where he goes to block. We used to call this play Broadway when we were on defense because the tight end is showing you one thing and doing another.
Penalty makes it first down and 20. Ward in trouble. Chase Young ripped it away. Young on the return. Young at the 10. 5. Touchdown. What a play by Chase Young!
And as a result of the penalty, it's 2nd down and 3 at the 38. Brissett, clean pocket. Wilson is open, and Michael Wilson up the sidelines. Inside the 10, fighting his way down the sidelines. He is in for an Arizona touchdown.
A lot of substitutions just took place there. Roy Ellison, the umpire, stepping in to allow them to finish.
Ward scrambling, throwing deep on the run, looking for Kinsey. Kinsey's got it!
So you think about all the holes you need to fill. Certainly, you're going to have the opportunity to go out and get some talented players. Here we go.
Breece Hall taking it all the way for a Jets touchdown. A little more positivity for New York.
Blitz is coming. Allen has it blocked up. Now gets hit as he throws. Taking a shot deep. It is!
Oh my God. The guy you usually go after, Quinyon Mitchell, but Shavers goes up top shelf and it just lands back in his chest. He's got those leather gloves on.
4th and 10. Pressure. Allen gets rid of it. It is caught. A little slip for first down. Oh, a beauty to Johnson. 4-man rush this time. Allen thinking deep, launching deep, taking a shot. It is held on to and caught.
Season high 48 points Monday night against Indianapolis. Purdy to the air right away. They jumped around. It's picked off. The Bears have it. T.J. Edwards inside the 10 to the end zone. Touchdown Chicago. So to the 35-yard line it goes. And a first down for the Bears. And Williams to the air one more time, sending it downfield to the end zone for Burden. He's got it. Touchdown Chicago. Had to go quick with the play clock running down. He did. It's a boot. Purdy pulling back. stepping forward, throwing on the run, touchdown! What a play, Purdy! Use check on the business end. You deserve to dance. Walker and DJ Moore top of the screen. Tight ends to the bottom. 2nd and 10. Williams goes underneath. It's a little pitch. It's Swift. He's got the first down, but he's short, and there's 13 seconds left.
Has been locking down the right tackle spot for a number of years, but McClendon has been awfully good.
Throw is picked off. Intercepted by Bates. It was high for Mumfield. Bates. Pick 6.
The other part of that is Xavier Watts in this year's draft, and he's a promising player.
Here's Robinson, right side. Nice cutback. He's gone. Can anybody catch him?
Not tonight.
McCreary chasing. Won't get there. Touchdown, Atlanta. He had an Atlanta Falcons record 93-yard run for the touchdown in the first half. Breaks a tackle, and there he goes. Down inside the 40. What a night. Gonzalez will try from 37. Blocked. And that was big Jared Verse. He's gone. He waved to the Falcons bench on his way for the touchdown. Rams are back in it, to say the least.
They sure are. That's exactly.
No hurry here. You're right. They've got all 3 timeouts. Mayfield on the move here, stepping up, trying to create. Still scanning the field. So he got the ball. And now finally throws it down to Otten. Otten banged out of bounds at the 31. That play took about 30 seconds to unfumble.
Unbelievable. That's just Baker being Baker.
Shifts to the other side on 3rd and 10. Stroud. The touch is there. Oh! A one-handed snare by Schultz. Tremendous grab for a first down.
Out in front of him. One hand out there. His defender fell down, got knocked around. They had success with this last time against the Colts, so they're going right back to it on the first 3rd down.
3rd down, Leonard is going to unleash a long one. Alec Pierce is there for the touchdown. Leonard is on time with a bomb to Pierce for 66 yards. Not a bad way to start your NFL career, Riley Leonard. Clock is ticking, 4:20 and counting left in the first. Oh, they're going to fake it. A toss by Sanchez, and it's caught. Mo Alley Cox on special teams. You wanted the kitchen sink? You'll get the kitchen sink.
For the Saints offense, trying to respond. Throwing for it, floating for the tight end, and a one-handed grab by Jawan Johnson. And that deserves a stare.
On the smash, and then they're going to run that fade ball to Johnson. And remember, man, he came out as a college free agent out of Oregon.
On 2nd down, Burrow to throw again. Lofts it to his left for Higgins. One-handed grab. A flag comes in, but that is a spectacular catch by T. Higgins if it stands. Touchdown seasons.
6'4" with ball skills. We talked about how good he is with his hands. Hold the defender off with his right. All you need is one. That's good every day and on.
3rd and 16. He wanted the screen and now flips it out to Bellinger. Daniel Bellinger on the run. How about this one? Touchdown Giants. The most unorthodox touchdown pass of the young career of Jackson Dart.
Chimere Dike is back under the crossbar to return. Cam Little, 67 yards! Oh!
Off the ball at the linebacker position and still got in the backfield.
It's hard to shield 6'4", 275 pounds. It's not like he's playing hide and go seek. First down. Burrow, he's under pressure, he's sacked! And there it is, a record that has stood nearly a quarter of a century has a new leader as 30-year-old Myles Garrett records his NFL record 23rd sack of the year.
passing Michael Strahan and T.J. Watt on the all-time list.
The word that comes to mind is inevitable. It's been inevitable for him this season. Utter dominance. We're in post-Aaron Donald era football. You see Myles Garrett, he just wins right away. To be that big, but that athletic to dip, a la Von Miller, beats Orlando Brown and gets in the backfield in under 2.5 seconds, Tom. Joe Burrow can't do anything about that one. Myles Garrett had to earn it, though, this year. He had to earn that record.
The Panthers win the NFC South and get the 4 seed. Tyler Shough, and it's intercepted. The Falcon take away D. Alford on his way. Eventually slowed down by Austin Estime. But a game-changing play.
Once again, behind the defense is Alec Pierce.
First and goal, and Leonard trying to run for it. He stays upright for the touchdown. It's a highlight reel for Riley Leonard. The Indianapolis Colts chance to take the lead with the extra point.
This is shocking on both sides. If you're sitting there as a Houston Texans fan, you're thinking we have the #1 defense in the NFL, and this rookie in his first start.
Shough for the end zone. In the corner. One-handed. That's a touchdown, Ronnie Bell. Wow. Amazing catch.
Amazing throw. How about those 2 throws? Well, they had 2 close incompletions to Bell. Just time on task, but this time these 2 are connected. He just kind of slow plays it off and then explodes.
5 seconds left. Snap it to Leonard. He's going to toss it underneath to Downs. He's going to chuck it behind him to Pittman. Throw it to Leonard. Trying to keep it alive. And the Texans have it. Trying to run with it for the score.
He didn't get it earlier. Togiai got his touchdown after all.
Togiai!
Wow! C.J. Stroud didn't give him the ball. He had to go get it himself.
A humongous human touchdown to end the regular season for Houston.
He's among the best in the league at scramble, run, and pass. Oh, little razzle-dazzle here. He's got Efton Chisholm wide open. And the rookie Chisholm, who got his first catches in the NFL last week, gets to do it in front of the home crowd here for the first time, 33 yards.
3rd down and 1. Bigsby is back there, the fake. And a block by the tight end, Latu, and downfield they got him. That's Smith. And he'll pick up on the play, 26 yards.
Chase Blackburn, their special teams coordinator, onto their interim.
Ben Kawika to Bowden for Blackburn. Wilson wide open. Touchdown.
This would be a great play for the Eagles to take a shot deep.
They got Granson, the tight end, in. 2 of them, in fact. And there goes McKee underneath. It's Bigsby. Oh, he broke a beautiful tackle. And on the move. Galloping, blocking, diving. Wow, what a run after the catch. Tank Bigsby makes it go.
On 4th down. Stafford, end zone, Nikola, touchdown. What a catch.
Only need a field goal to take the lead. Bouchel, Watts deep, Brown, hauls it in! Hollywood Brown at the 25.
3rd and 4. Steelers bring 4. Highsmith is there. Jackson got away. Now reloads and throws to Flowers downfield. He's got it for a touchdown! They had Jackson. 2 Steelers. He escaped and finds Flowers, and the Ravens take the lead.
Still a shotgun.
3rd and 1. Fake to Henry Jackson.
Again.
Shot downfield. Save Flowers again. Save Flowers inside the 20. He's going to go. There is a flag on the far side of the field. Let's see what that is. The Ravens react as though it is on Pittsburgh. Rodgers protected. Throws to Austin for the touchdown!